Hey guys, Winner Kills here, and welcome to another Locals feature match. Here we are in round 2, and we have Infernoble Knight, a deck that hasn't been on the channel in a little while, and Salamangreat facing off against each other here. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to this one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the poll results to see who you guys thought was going to win this particular match. And I believe about just over 100 votes, 53% of you guys saying Salamangreat is going to take it. So let's see if you guys are correct. And if you want to participate in future polls like this, just check the community tab anywhere between Monday and Thursday. I'm usually posting polls for upcoming feature matches over the course of the week. So Salad winning die roll. If you are a Noble Knight player, you probably hate to see that because you definitely want to go first with Infernoble Knight. Not to say that it can't go second, but going first is definitely preferred. And our Salamangreat player starting pretty strong with the Signet Mining, discarding Parallel Exceed to grab none other than Salamangreat, Gazelle, Normaling Buffalo, linking into Balinks. That's going to go ahead and trigger the Buffalo. And figuring out Chainlinks here. Whether or not he's going to go Balinks 1 and then Buffalo 2, because it actually does kind of matter. You definitely want to go Balinks 2, Buffalo 1. Mainly because you want to not draw into the Sanctuary. You want to be able to draw deeper into the deck. So then he's going to discard for cost afterwards, discarding another Parallel Exceed, picking up a Circle and a copy of Foxy. Not bad draws at all here, and of course he still does have a Gazelle, Sanctuary. Then he has Circle, and he's also got Desires too. So the hand looking pretty strong here for our Salamangreat player. Free to Desires now, obviously, now that Gazelle has been banished from the deck. He's going to draw into Will and another Signet Mining. Probably not too happy about the Signet, but definitely ecstatic to see that Will. This is probably going to be a very, very strong hand if our Infernoble player does not have any interruptions. Now, that deck doesn't typically play a lot of hand traps, mainly because the deck is already over 40 cards most of the time due to equip spells and other engine cards. But it is known to play some going second cards such as Droplets, Dark Ruler, Talents. I think Dark Ruler is personally better in Infernoble because discarding cards is something you don't really want to do in that deck. You want to keep as much card advantage as you possibly can. But the deck does play a lot of going second cards. Now, that's not so great here against Salamangreat because Salamangreat is also, it's like a mid-range combo control deck. Back row is going to be your biggest enemy here. So I guess if you're the Infernoble player, you really wish you had Lightning Storm in the main deck, which isn't totally outlandish, but I know one Infernoble player at my locals who plays Lightning Storm and Droplets in the main. And I think this Infernoble player is on Dark Ruler Talent, so I don't think he's actually on Lightning Storm, so this may be a bit rough. We're going to see Gazelle and Foxy hit the board, thanks to the Will, and everybody's favorite Fire Horse, rank 3 Fire Horse, Mirage Stalio, activating, discarding the Gazelle. No Ash there. If you were going to Ash at any point, that would be the place to do it. Or if you had Ash Valor, Valoring the Gazelle, and then Ashing the Mirage Stalio, or vice versa. Those work as well. Summoning out Falco. And then we're going to see him use the Jack Jaguar to return Sunlight Wolf. Summon to the zone that Sunlight Wolf points to that will proc Sunlight Wolf to add back any fire monster in his grave. Now using Sunlight Wolf's other effect to go ahead and add a Salamangreat spell or trap if it was link summoned using its basically itself as material, a Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. And he'll add back Rage with that, which is also really strong because with this deck specifically, if you Rage Infernoble when they get 2 warriors on board, they have to start all over again. So Rage is already really strong. Dweller's really strong too because that means we're turning off Balmung, we're turning off Divine Sword, Phoenix Blade. All of those really powerful not once per turn cards. So Standby Phase Dweller, we're going to detach Foxy here. That's going to allow our detach Falco. Falco's going to reset the Circle. And he's also going to proc Gazelle here, which is really, really good because the Salamangreat monster did hit the grave. I think our Infernoble player was checking to see if the monster had to be sent from the field to the grave, but it can be anywhere just so long as it hits the grave. And obviously, Also checking specifically there because Ixie's monsters are not, or Ixie's materials are not on the field, but of course, Salad still hit the grave, being Falco in this case. And Gazelle summoning to the zone that the Sunlight Wolf points to, so he'll get to add back Buffalo. Gazelle is going to send a Spinny. So much follow-up. And our Infernoble player is just going to scoop before he has the opportunity to show his opponent what he is playing. So leaving him side decking blind, essentially, at this point, which is very smart to do, especially with a combo deck like Infernoble. And as we head into Game 2 here, I want to mention a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. Check them out at the link below, and don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout. And if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, please do not forget to use my affiliate link down in the description below as well. You can find those links in all of my videos. And as expected, Infernoble going to go first here, starting with Heritage of the Chalice. So that can add any Noble Knight or Noble Arms card from deck to hand. So Rhoda on steroids, if you will. Like, really, really good card for the deck. Takes a lot of your really good cards like Oliver, Ogier even, or Renault, and basically increases their numbers by 3. And he's going to go ahead and add Ogier here. Now, Ogier is one of my favorite Infernoble cards as he starts by speccing out a Super Quantum Red Layer and then normal summoning Ogier. We'll see what he dumps here. But I love Ogier because back when I used to play Infernoble Knight, there was a really awesome anti-Nibiru combo you could do involving Ogier. And I think, like, Renault. Yeah, it could be Ogier plus Renault. Yeah, Ogier, Renault, plus, like, or Heritage. It was a really cool combo that, like, got Gear Feed on board as the 4th summon. Loved it a lot. But in this case, he's just going to dump a card off of the Ogier, and then link into the Isolde effect on summon to add Gearfried, which is pretty common for most Infernoble decks. Sending 1, 2, 3. Overdone Burial, Metal Silver Armor, and copy of Divine Sword, Phoenix Blade. Summoning out Neospatian Aqua Dolphin, which makes quite a bit of sense. So if he's doing this, it means he most likely has a tuner extender in hand, mainly in the form of Oliver. So he's going to go ahead and use this Dolphin to hand scan, if he can, possibly hit a Veiler or Ash out of the hand to protect the Halqifibrax. So we're going to see him banish 2 to get the Phoenix Blade back. He's going to go ahead and discard Phoenix Blade. Now he can hit anything 1600 or under. He's got Parallel Exceed, Buffalo, Spinny, Gazelle, and Rage. A really solid hand. Just Spinny Gazelle is already really, really strong. And then you pair the Buffalo with that to make it even better, and then the Exceed. So pretty cracked hand there for our Salad player. But of course, you're going to hit the Gazelle out of hand. I think not sure exactly what he dumped off of the Ogier. It looks like it was another copy of Red Layer, just a deck then. Probably don't want to draw that later on. And he'll get the 3rd copy out of the deck off of Shooting Riser Dragon later on. And I'm actually becoming a little more familiar with the Infernoble deck since my brother is getting back into the game a little bit, and he's picking up Infernoble Knight again. Been helping him learn the combos. And he's actually going to his first locals in like 3 or 4 years today, so wish him luck in the comment section. He'll be on the Noble deck. And linking into a second Isolde, which is interesting. Banishing Blade, or banishing Dolphin Isolde for Blade, and then pitching Blade for the Oliver. So he does have the tuner extender, hence why he was okay with summoning the Dolphin off of the Isolde, because normally you want to summon a tuner there. You have to summon a tuner, unless, of course, you already have a card like Oliver in hand. So, really solid opening for our Infernoble player. Now we're going to see Halqifibrax summon Despot 001. That's going to allow him to go into Auroradon. And that's going to summon 3 tokens, triggering 001, bringing itself back, synchroning for his first Power Tool Dragon. And that's going to reveal 3 DDR, guaranteed the DDR to the hand. For those that don't know what DDR does, Different Dimension Reincarnation. Basically, it's an equip spell. Allows you to discard a card to activate to revive one of your banished monsters, which is really, really good paired with Divine Sword Phoenix Blade because you get quite a bit of banished monsters in the process. Now we're seeing Coltwing get summoned out off the Auroradon. Trigger Despot one more time. 2nd Power Tool Dragon. And we're going to see one of my favorite Xyz monsters, especially from back in the days. He gets a guaranteed Durendal to hand, which will allow him to get access to Renault later, which is really, really strong. Another tuner extender to synchro into Savage or Omega. And he's going to be able to Xyz here into Mecha Phantom Beast Dracossack because currently Coltwing was a level 7. Because it gains levels equal to the amount of Mecha Phantom Beast tokens on the field, like their levels. So he had a level 3 Mecha Phantom Beast token. Coltwing gains 3 levels. He's at level 4, puts him to level 7, allowing him to overlay with Power Tool into Dracosack. Dracosack detaching to summon 2 tokens, 2 Mechaphantom Beasts at level 3, bringing back Despot, synchroing with a token, and Despot for Underworld Fighter Balmung. That's going to get popped by Dracosack's effect, tributing a token to pop it, triggering Balmung to bring back Coltwing. Coltwing triggers summon 2 tokens, and Despot synchroing in for shooting Riser Dragon. Then we're going to see Riser Roland Charles here probably. And shooting Riser Dragon on summon is going to be able to send a monster from deck to grave, level 6 or lower. And he's going to dump the red layer, and that's going to decrease Riser Dragon by 2, or by 5 levels, making him a level 2. Allowing him to synchro into the Infernoble Captain Roland, activating its effect to trigger an end phase, to send and equip and add a warrior, and then allowing him to synchro with Roland, who's a level 5, and the Coltwing, who is now a level 4 at this point, since he has no Mechaphantom Beast tokens on board, into Charles. And he's going to go ahead and activate Divine Sword one more time, banishing another Isolde, and Underworld Fighter Balmung. And here, you're probably wondering, how is he gonna continue from here? He just has Charles and a Dracosack. Like, what good is this? But wait. There's more. Activate Different Dimension Reincarnation, pitching Blade, bringing out the Balmung. Since a monster was equipped with something, that's going to trigger Charles to pop, popping Balmung, triggering its effect one more time. And you guessed it, Coltwing comes out to bring out Despot. 1, 2, 3, and 4 not once per turn cards being abused this turn. 5, I guess if you count DDR. 6 if you count Power Tool, but... And now we're going to see the Infernoble Arms Durendal activate, equipping to any monster he has. Allow him to go ahead and add a level 5 or lower Fire Warrior from deck to hand. So that is going to go ahead and add him a copy of Renault, who can special summon himself from the hand if you control a Fire Warrior, and if it does, it's treated as a tuner. And important to remember, right now, Coltwing is a level 7, because he does have 1 Mechaphantom Beast token. It's a dice. I know it can be a little hard to see, but he does have a 7 and a 1, allowing him to go for Omega. And this is where things can get a little interesting. He probably added back the DDR off of the Renault. So if he wanted to, he could Omega rip multiple times here, because he can DDR back the Omega since it is a banished monster. So he's going to go ahead and hit a Buffalo out of hand. Now his hand is Spinny, Parallel, and Rage. So that really good hand is now becoming not as good. And if he wants, he could continue to extend. Since he still does have that dice on field, he could DDR Phoenix Blade banishing Roland on another warrior, and then DDR out the Roland to synchro with the last level 3 token into Borreload Savage Dragon, or he could just, DDR out the Omega to rip another card. Would probably only be necessary if he saw his opponent had something like Dark Ruler or Droplet in hand. Or mainly just Dark Ruler, because you don't really care about Droplet since Herald the Arclight's on board. But looks like he's just going to continue to savage him here with the Omega. Doesn't even need Borreload. Going to hit a Spinny out of his hand. Leave him on Parallel, Exceed, and Rage. Which is a really bad combination. Really, really bad combination. Especially since he was able to hit all of his normal summons out of the hand. And yes, Infernoble can rip for 5, especially if you open Connector, because you can Connector Dolphin, Dolphin, rip. Connector Revive Dolphin for another rip, and then 3 Omegas for 5, leaving your opponent literally on a top deck turn 1, while you have an Omni Negate and a pop. End phase, we're going to see Roland activate, dumping Durendal to add a copy of Renault. And then we're going to see Charles activate, allowing him to equip himself with an equip from deck, and then equipping himself with a Fire Warrior or Warrior monster from deck. So that's going to equip Metal Silver Armor, making it so pretty much the only thing on the field that can be targeted is Metal Silver Armor. Or at least what it's equipped to. But then Oliver equipping to the Charles, making so Charles can't be targeted. And he draws Cosmic Cyclone for turn, but yeah, it's not going to help him in the slightest. And we're into a Game 3 situation after a very long bout of comboing. But I do love me a little Solitaire. I can't even lie. You guys know I played Block Dragon BA. You guys know I played Infernoble. And I don't know really what other Solitaire decks. I guess you could count Drytron as one. Drytron is kind of a Solitaire deck in the right hand. But one thing I've noticed helping my brother relearn Infernoble and kind of me relearning it myself is that it is definitely one of the hardest combo decks to pilot in the format. Hands down. I play Drytron. I don't even think Drytron is this hard. There are so many lines. You have a Coltwing, no Coltwing, Connector, no Connector, Anti-Nibiru route, no Nibiru route if you get nibbed. Tuner Extender, no Tuner Extender. Like, there's so many things. So we're going to see him link into Balinks with the Foxy. Foxy brings itself back by pitching the Jaguar. And Gazelle hits the board. really solid board already for our Salamangreat player. Man, I got to catch my breath here after all that combo talk in the last game. So Gazelle sending a Salamangreat card to the grave. And that is going to dump Rage. Rage, we already know how effective it is here in this particular matchup. Oh, and I think I just got a peek of what is in our Salad player's hand. A copy of Different Dimension Ground, normal trap that when activated says any monster sent to the graveyard that turn is banished instead. Of course, you have to Ash the Mirage Stalio, hoping it is enough to slow him down. Going to link into Mirage, or not Mirage Stalio, into Sunlight Wolf. And then we're going to see Jaguar returning the one of Stalio back to the extra deck. That's going to trigger Sunlight Wolf to add back a fire monster in the grave. He's going to recycle a Balinx. No, I was going to say that looked kind of questionable. You definitely want to recycle that Gazelle. And at this point, we'll probably see him just link into another Sunlight Wolf. Doesn't even really have to use the field spell here. Or he's just going to keep the Jaguar on board. Which I guess would be smart because he could link that into another Balinx. Because that would protect from Kaijus. Because that is one important problem that Salamangreat does have. If you're only ending on one link and you're relying on Rage and Roar to go through and you only have one link, a Kaiju is going to ruin your day. But it looks like he's not going to go ahead and link off that Jaguar into another Balinx because he's feeling pretty confident in the fact that he does have a DDR, which is really, really strong. Like, so incredibly strong. It's not, like, super bad for Infernoble because, yes, DDR is a card, but Coltwing is a card you do not want to get banished. There are definitely plays that still can be made, but they have to be made much, much differently. So he's going to go ahead and equip Durendal to one of his opponent's monsters because Durendal can be equipped to any monster on the field. Importantly, if you're an Infernoble player, you do not know that, now you know. Going second, Durendal is a starter card 100% if your opponent has put any monsters on board. Otherwise, I really wouldn't consider Durendal a starter, because you need something in play, right? So I would consider it a superior extender going first, a starter card going second, but only if your opponent has a monster. Durendal adds Red Layer, speccing out Red Layer. Now, he could go Battle Phase here to force it, but he does have the Rage, and he does have the Balinx engraved, so it's not going to matter anyways. And we're going to see this Rhoda add a copy of Neospatian Connector, which is going to be probably more than helpful at this point to get more board presence going. I mean, I don't know really what you can make at this point that helps you get out of the situation. I believe our Infernoble player did not open a very favorable hand. I think he opened Deskbot as well, alongside double DDR, if I recall correctly. So this was not a very optimal hand. Either way, the Neospatian Connector will summon Aqua Dolphin, and we're going to see Rage activate, sending 2 cards away, getting rid of the Dolphin and the Red Layer. So I guess the reason why doing that is important. So he's still left with 1 warrior on board, and he needs an extender like Fire Flint Lady or DDR. Yes, see, there it is. Double DDR. Pitching DDR to bring out a copy of either Red Layer or Dolphin. So it looks like he'll bring out the Dolphin. And then we're going to see him link the Dolphin and Connector into a copy of Isolde, probably. Isolde is going to activate to go ahead and add 1 from deck to hand. Probably going to be Gearfried. Yep. And if I'm not mistaken, the last card in our Infernoble player's hand is Durendal, or is Deskbot. So really the only way he's getting through this is if he's able to OTK. Because if he doesn't, Salamangreat is actually one of the few decks that can make really good use of access code, whereas other decks really can't. And the only reason I say that is because Salad can actually OTK with the access code, where most other decks are popping everything and swinging for 53, and that's it. But you have Update Jammer, you add that into the equation, that's a double attacking 5,300 monster that's clearing your field. So it's much more of an ever-present threat. So he's going to dump 4 to go ahead and summon the Infernoble Knight Oliver. Unfortunately, all of those cards getting banished. Checking the grave, DDR, or DDG, so many DD cards. Different Dimension Reincarnation, Different Dimension Ground. So many cards. So at this point, he's thinking, you know, do I even go for the Hulk route, summon this Despot from hand? The answer is probably not, because if you do that, you get one synchro with your Despot because it's getting banished. So the best thing to do in this scenario is do as little as you possibly can, let the DDG not get a ton of value, and try to put up some sort of interruption, if at all possible. Which is definitely going to be easier said than done. I mean, the only play that I see is like Link for Hulk summon Despot. Yeah, not even that. Yeah, that's not even going to work either, because you need the Despot engraved to get to summon out with the tokens. Because I was thinking, if he could get to Power Tool, you know, he at least has a play potentially. Like maybe could get to Omega to rip a card or something along the lines of that, but needs Despot engraved for that. And the only other cards I'm thinking of right now would probably be, I mean, maybe he could get to an Appaloosa if he had one more extender. Appaloosa isn't so bad in this matchup. Or some of the Nightmares. All potential cards he could go for right now, but Halqifibrax. I mean, Halqifibrax still technically could be something he goes for. He could summon the Hulk, summon the Despot, and pass. And then just use Hulk's actual effect on the opponent's turn, summon out Roland. Trigger Roland, so he gets a follow-up, and he basically has to force his opponent to kill him. But, of course, that is left with no interruptions. And if he's going to go for a Nightmare, it's probably going to be Unicorn. And then you're probably spinning back the Sunlight Wolf, because you don't want that to stay on the field, because that will continue to recur advantage. So this is a very tough decision, hence why it's probably taking so long. Linking off a Sold and Oliver for, okay, Nightmare, Unicorn. And discarding Despot. Yep, so double DDR Despot was in the opening hand. Going to shuffle it back, not destroy. So doesn't need to banish the Banelings for that. I mean, he can if he wants to, but Sunlight Wolf is still going to get shuffled back into the extra. Battle phase, he'll get in for 400 damage over the Jaguar. It will be protected by Banelings, and he'll draw a Synapse Mining for turn. Field spell is still in play. Yeah, this is not looking good for our Infernoble Knight player. He would have been able to pretty much do full combo had he not had the DDG. But DDG, we've seen time and time again, pop back up in the format, and it's pretty much always a really strong card for decks that like to combo and use their graveyard as a resource the entire time. Drytron, Earth Machine, Infernoble, you name it. Just a couple examples. Even Dragon Link, hurting Dragon Link quite a bit. It's a card that can be mained to a T in Sky Striker. It can also hurt Tri Brigade quite a bit as well. So we're going to see the Gazelle hit the field after a Synapse Mining. And we're going to see him reset a copy of Rage off the Falco, linking for Banelings with Jaguar. And I think we're going to see something interesting here. Our Salamangreat player adding a second copy of the field spell. Now, I know a lot of people are going to question that, but I overheard him saying, you know, it definitely has come up for him where he's needed a second copy. And I mean, to each their own. A little unorthodox, but hey, if it works, it works. You cannot even deny that. He's going to use it as discard fodder here for Foxy, which I got to admit, it's got to be pretty clutch at this point. And he's going to ditch the Spinny as well to boost one of his Salad Monsters and then summon it out to the board. And then we're going to see him go Link 2 into, yep, there it is, Update Jammer. Update and Spinny, which should be banished, I believe, but I don't think it's going to matter. Into Transcode, bring back Update. And there's Access Code Talker with Transcode and Update. Come out at 5,300 and has plenty of fodder in the grave to nuke that Unicorn more than enough times. Relinking into another Banelings just because why the hell not? Remembering now that the Spinny should be banished. And yeah, that's 5,300 to the face twice. So that is going to do it for this match. I hope you guys enjoyed. Unfortunately, as much as I love Infernoble, they are taking the L here really, really quick in Game 3. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more of my videos, click on one of the ones popping up on the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, I want to give a special shout out to our Divine Level channel members who go above and beyond to support this channel. They are Cadillacs84, Pony Stark, and Keith Siggers. Thank you guys so much as always.